All right, good evening. Welcome to 30 Letters in 30 Days. This is letter number 26, Shem Havaya. We are really getting close to I won't call it the end, but I'll call it the culmination. And I do hope to have news soon about whether there will be an event and what form that will take as far as the last class on Yud Alef Nissan. Regarding the books, as I mentioned last night, the booklets are printed. They exist. They're actually physically printed. Go to 30letters30days.com for more information. Get your book. Okay. Yes, I'm looking in the chat about the message about the previous letter. Yes, I saw your message about Tiferes B'Tiferes. Yes, that was a great message. Someone's asking, what was your favorite letter of the series? Mine was the last letter about growing a beard. Okay. Yeah, I'm reading what the person's writing in the chat. What was my favorite letter? So difficult to choose. Maybe I'll think about it, and on the last night, I'll share what my favorite letter was. Okay. Baruch Hashem, we're going to jump in. Tes Iyar, Tafshin Yud Tes, Brooklyn, Shalom Uvracha. The 9th day of Iyar, 5719, Brooklyn, Shalom Uvracha, which means that Rebbe is writing to a man. Greetings and blessings. B'mayne l'michtave, megimel Iyar. In answer to your letter from the 3rd day of Iyar, by Kesef, in which you write, Rashi Prakim, the general gist, the main chapters, Masher Avrolov, about what happened to you. Ve'ech shehistader ato, and how it all is worked out now. Basically, you went through a bunch of stuff, and now you're in a more, stable situation. U'Mesayim bitmiya, and then you conclude with a wonderment. You sort of are perplexed. Madua zeh kishir tzaynei lalais bedarges binyani teira mitzvahs. Why is it that when you want to ascend level after level in Torah study and mitzvah observance, niskol bekamik shuyim, you're suddenly beset with obstacles and difficulties? And if that's not enough, you're doing the right thing and you're seeing problems, obstacles. At the very same time, you see young men, meaning your peers, who are not following the same path of Torah and mitzvahs, shechayim blik shuyim, and they're living without these difficulties. Bliyagia, vishtadlus, v'chulu, without toil, without effort, etc. This is a classic question of why do bad things happen to good people, and there are many, many igros that address this question. Why? Because many, many people asked various iterations of this question. The Rebbe is obviously going to answer this person in a way that fits the way that they're asking and where they're coming from and what their situation has been and what it is. We know that. In other words, what I'm saying is this. There's not like a file where you pull out the formal answer to why do bad things happen to good people, and when somebody asks a question in that category, you just sort of cut and paste that answer. That's not how it works. The Rebbe is going to answer in a way that's individualized. Of course, right? Everything I'm saying here is obvious, at least to the people who have been studying the Rebbe's letters with me for a while now. You know that. Okay. So, how is the Rebbe going to answer this person? Let's see. You understand the guy's problem? he's chosen to live a Torah observant life. Now, I don't know if he's coming from a secular background and he's newly observant, or if he's coming from a religious community where his peers or many of his peers have left the fold. But either way, it could be, I don't know, it could be either. But either way, his complaint is he's the good boy, he's keeping the rules, and he's having more difficulties in life. It seems that he's talking about getting established and sort of, I mean, it appears from the letter, I'll just, without spoiling anything, I think mostly he's talking about professionally getting established in a field and financially, and he sees, like, he's doing the right thing, and then he sees his peers who are not making those decisions and just doing whatever they want to do, and they're living the good life, and he sees them having very rapid success and becoming established in their fields and making money, and it's like, what's up with this? I mean, this isn't right. Why is this happening? So that's what he's complaining. All right. So how's the Rebbe going to respond to him in a way that is individualized just for him? Let's find out. V'hamayna al zeh nimtza b'michtavei atzmei. Boom. The answer to this is in your letter. And I just want to repeat this, and maybe you're tired of hearing this from me, because I know I say this a lot. But one of the things that I love about the Rebbe's letters, and one of the things that changed my entire experience of reality, the way that I view life was radically changed when I understood the Rebbe's fundamental belief that problems are not merely solved by way of solutions, but the problems themselves contain the solutions. And therefore, when somebody presents a difficulty, you don't have to import an answer that addresses that difficulty. You have to look right at the difficulty, see it as it is, and within it, you will see that the solution is already right there. And there's so many ways that this expresses itself, this idea expresses itself in the Rebbe's Torah. Not just in Igros, where the Rebbe is corresponding with people, but really everywhere. The Sichos, the Maimorim. This is a fundamental concept. And we're going to see an illustration of that concept at work here in this letter. Your question, young man, of why do bad things happen to good people? Why do the wicked prosper? Why do the righteous suffer? Classic question. And I could give you a classic answer, but I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you your answer. And what do I mean by your answer? I mean your answer. You already gave me the answer. I'm going to say that again. I'm not just going to give you the answer, the correct answer, the official answer. I'm going to give you your answer. And by your answer, I don't just mean an answer which is tailor-made for you. I mean the answer that was tailor-made by you. You sent me your answer. You think you sent me a question? You sent me an answer. You know the famous story of Jonathan Sacks. He says, the Lubavitcher Rebbe changed my whole life without saying or writing one word. I wrote to him, should I become the next chief rabbi of England? So he said the Rebbe knew editing marks because he used to work for Kahos. That's when the Rebbe came to America. That's how Jonathan Sacks explains it. He knew editing because he worked for Kahos, for the Lubavitch publishing house. So Jonathan Sacks says the Rebbe took my letter that I wrote to him, should I become the next chief rabbi of England? And he made the transpose editing marks where you switch words, and he just flipped it like the little symbol, and now it said, I should become the next chief rabbi of England. Send it back to him. Boom, there you go. In other words, Jonathan Sacks sends the Rebbe a question. The Rebbe takes Jonathan Sacks' question, turns it into an answer, or really reveals that it was an answer, sends it back to him. Okay? That's just the Rebbe's approach to everything. There's no real darkness. There's only light. So if you think you're seeing darkness, look more closely. There's the light. All right? The answer to your question is in your letter. In your letter itself. Let's see. B'toaroi histadrusai asher tzarech lilmoid hamiktsaya shalai gimel daled shonim. You describe how your arrangement, your current situation is that you have to train, you have to learn, sort of, I think, apprentice would maybe be the word we would use, in your field for 3 or 4 years. Maybe even called a paid internship. So there's a 3 or 4 year period where you are learning the trade. Ve'ata b'avodah maisis k'mei kol poel acher behesem lidaisov. And now what you do is you're considered like a regular, whatchamacallit, what do you call it? You're working a laborer. A laborer. You're a laborer, in fitting or in keeping with your current knowledge, meaning you don't yet have the knowledge that you're going to have. You're learning in order to have that knowledge, but you don't yet have it. So now you're just getting paid like any other laborer. Now you're going to become more than a laborer, but for now you're getting paid like a laborer. So mistakerak meya ve'eser lira l'chodesh, 110 lira. They used to have the lira system of currency in Eretz Yisrael. You just get 110 lira a month. Bimilas acherais, in other words, pu'ula atzma eina maspika. It's not enough to do, because you're doing right now. You're a laborer, and you're getting paid less than what you're going to be getting paid when you finish your training. Rather, you need a period of preparation, of study. And then, after you complete that, Gama Pu'ula Mishtaperes Mishtalemis Bahar B'Yeser. Then the work and the pay will become much more. Okay. So far, don't be surprised that you don't understand how to put together this answer. That I was just establishing very practically what is the situation. Now, of course, the Rebbe is going to use this as a mashal, as an allegory for life itself, which answers the most profound question of why do the wicked prosper and why do the righteous suffer. But you understand right now just the situation that Rebbe is describing. He's saying the guy is in a situation where he has to do 3 or 4 years of study. It seemed to me that the study is connected to the work that he's doing now. It occurs to me, it could be two totally separate things, like he's working his way through school, and he's a laborer while he's earning enough money to pay tuition while he's training in another field. But for some reason, I think it's one field. That's how I took it, because it sounded like it's one field. At any rate, the point is he's in a phase right now, which he knows how long it takes. It's a 3 or 4 year training period where he gets paid a very low rate. He gets paid like a laborer. He gets paid like somebody who does not have any special skill or education. However, after the 3-4 year period, then he will be allowed to do a more specialized form of work, befitting his specialized training and education. And then commensurately, he's going to get paid a lot more. He's not going to get paid like any other laborer. He's going to get paid well. And that's why he's sticking through this 3-4 year period. Okay, so that's the situation. V'hatam poshet. The reason for this is simple. Like, why should it be that you're not getting paid well for 3 or 4 years until you do get paid well? Well, it's simple. It's obvious. Tam poshet. Shekechol sheyigdol hahesig. the bigger the goal is, the preparation has to be bigger and wider. In other words, you want to go from a regular laborer job, which, I mean, it's like minimum wage, we'd call it in America, to something that pays really well. So obviously, you don't just go straight into that. There's a process of paying your dues. And in this case, it takes 3-4 years. And it makes sense because the bigger the jump that you want to make, then the bigger the preparation in order to make that jump. Conversely, anytime you have a very small aspiration, or even no aspiration at all, meaning you're not really moving anywhere, you're not attaining anything new, then tiktana achona, then there's less preparation. Obviously, you don't have to prepare to do what you're already doing. Or if you're going to do something that's a little bit more than what you're already doing, okay, so then you prepare a little bit. It doesn't take that long. Or sometimes you don't even need any preparation at all. Fine. That's the guy's situation. That's what he wrote to the Rebbe. He explained to the Rebbe his situation right now. The Rebbe is going to take this guy's present situation and use it as a mashal, as a parable, an allegory, to explain to him the answer to his philosophical quandary of why his peers who are not Torah observant are succeeding in life already when he's not yet succeeding in life. You following? Now you probably even are starting to figure out where the Rebbe is heading. Let's see. All right. So along the same lines, now the Rebbe is pivoting into the explanation. A life devoid of meaning. Tragically, somebody who's living a shallow existence. You don't need any preparation for that. You want to just eat, drink, and be merry? You can just roll out of bed and do that. It doesn't take any special preparation to figure out how to do that. Anyone knows how to revert to their basic animal survival mode. It's pretty simple. Any pleasure that one does experience while living that way is fleeting. It's but momentary. So why should it be surprising that one needs no preparation in order to lead such a life? You follow what the Rebbe is saying? Your friends who unfortunately are leading lives that lack depth and meaning, and they've already, quote unquote, arrived. They're living the life that they want to live already. Yeah, of course they are, because it doesn't take a lot of preparation to be able to arrive at a goal that has very little meaning to it to begin with. So that's why they're already where they want to be, because where they want to be, unfortunately, is not something that's ultimately rewarding. And that's why they can just start already now. This means to say, Kol ish asher yizbeinin ba'asidai. Anyone who will contemplate about his future, afilu l'shokala, even for a moment. You don't have to go sit and meditate for hours. Just think for a minute. He'll realize that it's worth it to work many years at the requisite preparation, whatever it requires, whatever is needed to prepare for his life. Because through this preparation, even if it takes years, pi kama v'kama b'meshech asiriyos v'asiriyos shanim. He's going to exponentially improve his life over the coming decades. So you stop a second and you think, I'm going to put in a few extra years of work, and I won't immediately be where I want to be. I'm going to be in an intermediate preparation phase, in a liminal phase. Oh, those liminal phases. They are tough. All the in-between transitional phases are tough. Bein hashmoshes, the twilight zone, literally. Nish dehin, nish deher. You know what they say? In life, when one door closes, another door opens, but it's hell in the hallway. Transitional phases are rough. This is the idea of liminal space or liminal time. You know, like there's a whole aesthetic called liminal art or images of places that are not destinations or starting points. You know, like a truck stop along the interstate. Nobody starts there. Nobody ends there. It's just a place people pass through. And it's tough being in those transitional phases. But here's the thing. Of course it's tough. But when you realize that there is a reason for going through these transitional phases, that they are not just downtime, they are preparation. They are necessary preparation. It's not just, oh, please go sit in the waiting room until I call you, right? That feels like a waste of time. But, and I want to speak to everybody right now, if you're going through a transitional phase in life, you're waiting for something, whether it's a career or it's a shidduch or it's an answer from Hashem, whatever it is, everything's an answer from Hashem. I want you to know, you're not sitting in a waiting room. You're not just... It's not that God is too busy and he can't deal with you yet. And when he has time, he's going to take care of you. God forbid. We go through liminal phases, but they're not just sitting there and waiting. They are preparation. You're on a highway. You're getting to your destination. And as the Rebbe is explaining, the greater the attainment that you're working for, yes, unfortunately, but this is the reality, the more prolonged the liminal phase is going to be. But if someone will think just for a moment, the Rebbe says, about the exchange rate over here, that spending a few years investing in your future, preparing for your future, is going to pay off exponentially, meaning it's not a one-to-one ratio. It's an exponential increase. So then a person's going to easily accept upon himself those difficulties. All right, let's continue here. Ukapiskim hakotzer v'hashonun. I love that expression. Like the sharp, short, or short, sharp, maybe you'd even say the pithy statement shel chachamenu zal, of our sages, lefum tzayda agra, according to the pain is the gain. And I know in English they say no pain, no gain. That lacks a certain dimension that the lahavdil, that the Maimer Chazal has. It's good, it's close to the Jewish concept, but no pain, no gain is a categorical statement. It's binary. Talking about no pain, no gain. But the Maimer Chazal is a spectrum. It's a scale. Lafum tzayda agra. In accordance with the pain is the gain. So, you know, when you say no pain, no gain, okay, so I don't, then I know I can't get by with having no pain, so just give me some pain, just give me a little. Does it have to be a lot? Just give me you're not allowed to get around having the pain, so okay, so give me a little. Just yeah, I'm good, yeah, I'll have a taste. Yeah, just a little. But when you understand it's according to the pain is the gain. Okay, all right, hold on, let me psych myself up for this. All right, give me as much pain as not any extra pain. I'm not looking for any superfluous pain, but however much is necessary in order to attain what I can attain. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll do it. So that's what the Rebbe is saying here. Ella. Shua agrahu pikama shalatzar. And not only is it proportionate, it's actually disproportionate. That the gain is disproportionately greater than the pain. It's not just the more pain, the more gain, but it's the more pain and then exponentially the more gain. It's a disproportionate reward. That means to say that if you double the toil and the effort, you don't just double the reward and the results, but you exponentially multiply it many, many times over. And when you think like that, then yeah, it becomes a no-brainer to sign up for the more difficult track. So here's the answer. You're saying, I signed up for a life of Torah mitzvahs. I signed up for a good life. My friends signed up for a meaningless life. And they're already enjoying their lives. They're already reaching their goals. And I'm on this slow track to get to where I want to go. And the Rebbe says, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because what you are headed for is so much greater than what you're able to have right now. There's a process you have to go through. But here's the deal. Go through it, and the reward will be exponential to the amount of effort that you invest at this time. Tikvasi sheshureisai hamaatais taspekno shiesbeinin betoichnam. I hope that these few lines will be sufficient for you to meditate upon. In other words, I hope that I've given you sufficient food for thought. You can take this letter and you can read it and reread it. And I hope this is going to help you to get into the mind space that you need to get into in order to embrace the period of life that you're in right now. V'lavoi lamaskono hamitis. And then after you do the proper meditation, you'll be able to come to the proper conclusion, the true conclusion. Sha'olov lenatzel hashana ma'elu umeretz ha'alumim v'habachrus la'achona hadrusha l'chol asidai. That you will use out, you will make use of these years of youthful energy as a time of necessary preparation for your future. Don't waste your youth living it up, enjoying it now. Use your youthful energy in a way where you're investing, and then you're going to see a return on that investment in a way that is exponentially greater than what you put in. So that you will ultimately be happy physically as well as spiritually. The Rebbe wants us to have both. V'rak derech achas mevila lezeh. And there's only one way, there's only one path that will bring you to true happiness, both materially and spiritually. Hachona nafshis limud teirasenu teiras chayim v'kiyim mitzvesa aleim nemar v'chay bohem. What's the one path? It is the spiritual preparation of learning Torah, which is called Teiras Chaim, a Torah of life, and to keep the mitzvahs, of which it says v'chai bohem. You understand here? Very important. Torah mitzvahs is not just Torah mitzvahs. Torah is Teiras Chaim, and the mitzvahs are v'chai bohem. I've said this before, I'll say it again. In the Rebbe's worldview, there's no such thing as a trade-off between spirituality and material bounty. It can't happen in God's world, that you would have to sacrifice a success in the conventional definition of the term in this physical world in order to have integrity and live a life of principle. It's not possible. Why would that happen? The same God who made the world is the God who gave us the Torah. So the Torah is a Torah's Chaim. It's a Torah of life, meaning everyday life. It is how to be successful in life, not just up in heaven, but down here. And the mitzvahs, about the mitzvahs, the Torah says, v'chai bahem, and live with them. Not lose your life because of them or give up your life because of them, but this is the way to have your best life, is through them. Shezeu kiyam habakosha ha'idud v'hatzivoy u'v'charta b'chayim. Let's listen to this poetry. The Rebbe says that this is the fulfillment, meaning living a good life spiritually and materially is the fulfillment of the bakosha, the idud, and the tzivoy. Bakosha means a request. Idud means encouragement. Tzivoy means a commandment. The Rebbe uses each of those terms to describe the phrase uvacharta b'chaim, and you should choose life. Hashem says to us, as a request, as encouragement, and as a commandment. Sometimes the request is enough. Oh, Hashem requested, no problem. Sometimes we need encouragement. It's like, I want to do this, but I don't know if I can. And sometimes the tzivui is necessary. Like, no one's asking. No one's encouraging. Do it. Do it now. Live your best life now. But at any rate, what is it that Hashem is requesting and encouraging and ordering us to do is to live our best lives. Uvacharta b'chaim, choose life. B'chaim amitim musharim b'ylamenu gam zeh. A true and happy life in this world, also in this world, in the most practical sense. It's all going to come together beautifully for you, young man. You're going to have success, not just in your field that you're training for, but you're going to have a good life. And the fact that you're investing a few years in that right now, don't be frustrated. You're not missing out on anything. You're making a wise choice, which is going to come back and pay you exponentially for the work that you're putting in now. You're going to have a great life. God willing, he'll report good news and all of the above. Signed by the Rebbe's Secretariat. Amazing letter. All these letters are amazing. Maybe this is my favorite letter. I don't know. Right now, it's my favorite letter. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow night for a double dose, a Thursday night double dose, and I'm going to have a surprise for you. I'm shooting on location from a very exotic locale. You'll find out when you tune in tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern.